faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey everyone, this is Walter. It's been quite a while. It's actually been quite a few months since I've actually done any radio podcasts or whatever you want to call those. And this one's not going to be long. I know I've been off for like 2 months now, I think. I actually lost track of time, and you know, it's just, you know, one thing I did not talk about, I don't think, was, I think it was October 13th. I had, you know, it was the day before October, Friday the 13th in October. Me and a friend, we met up and we went to Blairstown, and we actually got to do the tour of where they shot the movie Friday the 13th. So that was like really cool. Hold on one sec. Been a long time since I've actually said that. Yeah, that was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. But you know what? Quite honestly, I don't have time to talk about anything I would love to. The only reason I'm actually doing a show is why I actually originally kind of set this up. One, originally, though, was because I wanted to experiment, and, you know, I want to, I was in college to become I was a communications major, and my purpose was to get a job in film or some type of production, even radio, which was the last thing I wanted to do, and I actually got nothing. So, you know, for the last 15 years, my anniversary was on the 18th of this month. You know, I worked at a place that's basically a glorified janitor job. So tonight, I worked some overtime. I was off for like 5 days recently. As of yesterday was my 5th day, or the day before, I should say now. And you know, hey, I had a great time having off, but I didn't do anything except sleep, though, unfortunately. And tonight I go back. Last night I go back to work, or just, you know, I got home. Let's see. I forget when, and I was not happy. Alrighty, it's kind of weird. My thing is acting up already. I got to turn off this damn screensaver. I think that's what kind of affected. That's another thing I haven't used. Oh, I hope this fucking thing works. I'm sorry, I'm already cursing. It just sounds very strange. It sounded like I'm underwater. I'm using the laptop I actually bring to work, so. Yeah, something went wrong with my computer tonight too. I haven't used it in the last 2 months, and it's the one I use dedicated for podcasting, and it's acting up. So I'm not happy about that. And then I hear this watery sounding noise, and you know, I haven't done a podcast in such a long time, and it's like, well, that's not cool. Yeah, so. There's been a lot going on, but mainly it's just the reason I haven't done podcasts lately is because I work all the time. Been working a lot of hours. I'm trying to make, what do you call that? 6 figures this year if I could. You know, it's like an OCD thing with me. I don't really need to. I have no purpose for having to do this, but I just want to prove to myself, I can actually make that kind of money in 1 year. So I'm very close to making my goal. Of course, I spend most of it, and I actually used a lot, some of it even for Christmas already. I used it for buying my dad a nice gift for Christmas. I bought him a snowblower. So, you know, it's not total garbage that I'm buying, but I'm also, you know, spending it as quickly. That's the problem. When you work a lot of hours, you're just so exhausted that when you have off, you don't know what to do with yourself, so you end up spending more money. I've noticed that. So, again, why I wanted to do a show tonight, I was just pissed off. I was off. It had taken till tonight to finally make me pissed off enough, so that I'll lose some sleep to do this damn show. Because I was really pissed. I was off for 5 days. I think it was 5 days. It was off since Wednesday. I was off. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I was off since Thursday. And that was another thing right before that. Every time it was like, okay, I'll do a podcast because I'm not working this weekend, which was the past weekend. Not this one it just passed, but the weekend before. And I got like that stomach virus, that one that just makes you want to vomit and have massive diarrhea. So, that wasn't cool. That was not cool at all. So I had to suffer, literally, I suffered through that one weekend. I had like my weekend off. It's like, okay, I'm going to finally do a podcast. And guess what? I didn't because I was sick as a dog. And then I had to take off Monday and Tuesday because I was just like, okay, I am so dehydrated. I went to the doctor on Monday of this past week, not today. And it was like, okay, this is just crazy. I will be taking off, I'll be taking off, a couple days and want to do a podcast, and I haven't done one in such a long time. So this one's, obviously it's been a long time. I forgot how to actually physically do a podcast. But again, I want to work tonight, and I come home, I go into work, and it's like, okay, this is a kind of nightmare. I didn't expect to be like this large on this of a large. I can't say the words right. Like this large scale problem that I had tonight was just really, really pissed me off. You got people, they're getting paid very well. So am I. But they're getting paid more than I am, most of them. And you would think they would know how to act like adults, but no, it's, the whole thing is, and I hate to say this because I'm tired of hearing this on the news. Like I'm actually sick of hearing about it. Is all these rape cases, which I think most of them are probably just nonsense because people are so fed up and so angry that, Trump actually became our president. You have to deal with it. It's been over a year now, and you still can't get over the fact that he's our president. And I had to deal with it for 8 years with Obama, but, hey, I can't complain about that when Obama was in office. Now, all of a sudden, the tables have turned, and, you can complain all you want, and you haven't stopped. And these rape allegations haven't stopped. They've gotten even worse with people. So, to me, I just think the whole thing is just way out of control. And I do not see it getting any better. I see it just getting far worse. As it has, so far, it's gotten much, much worse. And it's just strange. It's, just annoying. I'm trying to watch my levels, by the way. I haven't said that in quite a long time. Simply because, I'm using a different computer. When I get a chance, I'm going to have to wipe this other one. Eventually, because it's under warranty. I think I did buy an extended warranty. I'll just drop it off, even just let them do it for me. Because I can't even be bothered. If this one works, this is great, and I'll just even get rid of my other one. If I can get a couple bucks for it, I can get it running. But it's going pretty far back. And what have I done for the last 2 months? Work. That's about it. And again, I went to that Blairstown event. Blairstown is, by the way, if I did not mention, I don't think, is where they shot the original Friday the 13th. I actually got to meet up one of the actors. If you've seen the movie, the actor who played the crazy cop who comes to the camp, Camp Blood, and says, "Hey, you better not be doing anything bad like smoking weed or stuff like that." That actor showed up. So, and he was really cool. I got a picture with him. I'm surprised I remembered that because, what happens from one day to the next, I actually do forget. So, that was like that was the best thing I did. Oh, actually, that's not the only thing I did. It was really cool. I met up with a friend in Wilkesboro, and Borough. I can't say that right. And when I met up with him, we went and seen a musical of Evil Dead. Evil Dead, the musical, of course. And that was really cool. I was surprised because my friend Todd, he's not the type that strikes me like, oh, I love musicals. I do. I don't mind them. I've actually grown accustomed to going to live production, musicals, things like that. And he went, and he liked it just as much as I did, if not more. So that was really cool. And that was a couple weeks ago, too, by the way, folks. So there was a lot going on. That was like my Halloween treat to myself. And then I had taken off October 31st. So I'm going back a little bit first. This November has just flown, so I really can't say much about anything because I can't remember much, honestly. Thanksgiving went way too quickly. Those 5 days off I had, whatever it was gone before they even happened. So, again, I can't say much about that. I did enjoy having off, though. And I actually, even though I didn't do anything, I'll tell you one thing I did do. With all this extra money, like I said, I bought my dad a snowblower. I actually gave it to him ahead of time. I was like, hey, here's your early Christmas gift, because I thought it was supposed to snow like in the beginning of November, and it hasn't. So it's like, okay, this was kind of a waste. It's not a waste, but it's just kind of a waste, the fact that I gave him his gift like 8 weeks ahead of time. So, yeah. So that to me was kind of like, oh, well, I tried, but it just didn't work. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up right now. There was one other thing I did want to kind of mention. At least one story, but I don't have many others. Yeah, so he put that together. He really liked it. It was on sale. I think it's normally was $500, but I got on sale for $350. With it wasn't even a Black Friday sale. That was the funny thing, is I got this way before Black Friday, and he liked it. It was like, don't worry about it. Hey, I'm working to overtime. I'm giving my parents extra money actually right now too. Every week I give them a couple $100. Just for them. Let me live here still. So that part was cool. Yeah, I'm not doing much complaining, which is fine. Trust me. I got over it. So yeah, that was the highlight. Blairstown, and like I said, Thanksgiving, which my parents and I, we went to this Cracker Barrel. So a friend from Wilkesboro, he actually went with his mother. God forbid, his father passed away just last year. So to him, it's like the first holiday without his father. So I'm sorry about that, my friend Todd. I haven't experienced that yet, and I hope not to for, at least a lot longer if I can help it. But yeah, so again, there's not much, because that's another reason I haven't done many podcasts, because I just really don't have much to talk about. And I have things to complain about, but it wasn't to the extent like tonight where, I really need to do a podcast just to vent. So it wasn't at that point. I've been there before. I'm sorry. When I see my monitor kind of darkening out, I'm just afraid that it's going to shut down the program that I'm running, which is Audacity. On this, this is like my junker laptop I bought, for work. I bought a different, kick around laptop. I mean, it's an Apple, but there's no such thing as a kick around Apple laptop, because this one was like $1,000, and I souped it up just a tad bit. And now I'm using it to do a podcast tonight, so I'm kind of shocked. So I'll tell you one thing that was actually really interesting. It was like on Thanksgiving, on Black Friday, there's this one guy I really like, Ken Matthews, because he's from Pennsylvania. and he covered for Rush because I listened to Ken Matthews. And I listened to one of his shows. Like I listened to it in addition to listening to Rush Limbaugh. And the one show I actually listened to just the other day said that, oh yeah, I'm covering Rush's show, so I won't be on my own show. I'll be on Rush's show. And it was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I wanted to listen to Ken Matthews, and I can kill two birds with one stone because Ken Matthews was covering for Rush Limbaugh. So, again, that was like actually pretty cool. That was really cool. So I was listening to that for the last couple days because Rush is out for, the long haul for a little bit. And he'll probably pretty soon or be off for the rest of the year, I'm sure, which will really suck. I hope he gets Ken Matthews again. I swear to God. So, one other thing is this has been like I don't have the time or the depth to go into it like I would like to, but I did go see Suicide Squad movie, Justice League movie, and it was like, the best part of it, honestly, for me was, and I'm not even kidding, was Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. That was the best part. The opening scene with her was like just a lot of action. Obviously her movies do very well. So that's like a definite plus. And I was just like ecstatic to see her, and then Ben Affleck. Like I'm like one of the few people who really just think Ben Affleck was the best Batman so far. And but the rest of it was like okay. And then when they brought Superman, maybe I shouldn't say anything because I know there's still a lot of people who haven't seen it. And you know what the funny thing is? A lot of people have not had time. It did come in number 1 for the first week. It came in number 2 this past weekend, and it's not making the money it should. So that's kind of really depressing. It made like $200,000 overseas the first weekend. This weekend it made $100,000 the first 7 days in the U.S., and now it's dropped down to 42. So it's already on the plunge. So that's a really bad sign because I was really hoping for a lot. But yeah, I was just going to say, yes, Man of Steel, Superman, whatever you want to call it, he was in the film, but it was really morbid. So, and I'll leave it at that. I was really kind of depressed about that. I'm going to try to push in Fandango. Oh, no, not Fandango. Box Office Mojo. It's Cyber Monday now, by the way, folks. Means you can do Christmas shopping on Monday online. That's like Black Friday in the stores. That's what it means, by the way. So again, I'm just like kind of disappointed. The film was actually interesting, but again, I just thought it was kind of very morbid at the same time. Yeah, it only made $40 million. I'm sorry, did I say 40,000 or whatever? It was $40 million, but still, it went from $100 million down to $40 million. It made 171 domestically now, so it made pretty decent. It made almost 200,000, not quite. Internationally, and foreign, and what do you call it? Foreign ticket sales, or whatever you want to call it, it's made over 300,000. 300,000. I keep on saying 300 million. So altogether, globally, it's made almost $500 million, I guess, right? Because it's $481 million. So it's not bad, but it's not going to be enough to maybe, possibly, I don't think, make a sequel. I don't know. And I was really looking forward to it because there was a lot of Easter eggs I read after seeing the film, because I saw it like the second day it came out. Or second or third day. And I read up on it, and it was like, there was stuff I had taken for granted. Now, the people who really like this are people like, and believe it or not, I didn't notice until a friend mentioned this to me. It was Whedon who actually had taken over for on the film, because Zack Snyder had problems with his daughter. She had some issues, and he needed to step down. Now, I've heard from people, friends, and then Kevin Smith. I can't say he's a friend, but I'm just saying Kevin Smith really liked it. But the people who really know about comic book films, they're saying, hey, this is a really well-made film, and thank God Whedon had taken over. Now, I read other things that said Whedon tried to change, like, the script. He tried to change everything, and he just didn't have enough time. He was basically rewriting the whole storyline, and he just didn't have the time to do so. So you got a mixture of both Whedon, what he redid or retouched on the film, and then what Zack Snyder originally had intended. So what I'm hearing is two different sides, though, by the way, and I'm saying two different sides. I'm not making myself clear. People who like grew up on these comic books, and I'll say I didn't agree with this, but they said that Superman was the way he's supposed to be out of the comic books this time, because Whedon made sure to definitely rewrite Superman's parts. There's other characters in the movie. I don't have all the time in the world tonight. I'm going to make this definitely way under an hour, I hope, because I want to get some rest and some other things I want to do before I go to bed. So people said they want to see the Zack Snyder version because it was pretty much almost all the way done. Other people say, no, Whedon actually did it correctly when he changed things. But then you got like two different films meshed together, and it's a mess a little bit at the same time because of that. So, I've been a big DC fan. At the very end of the credits, they definitely give you a teaser of like, okay, this is where the Hall of Justice is going to be. And that just had like literally put a tear in my eye. And it was like, yes, I do want to see this. I definitely want to see more of Ben Affleck because I loved his Batman. I actually went to, I think it's his Twitter page, and I said, dude, I didn't say dude, but I said, please do not drop out of being Batman because you are the only one, and I'm being sincere, the only Batman I've loved so far is Ben Affleck. I don't like the other ones. I really do not. So, and what do you call it? Grew on me, but he just got very dark all of a sudden, which was kind of interesting because I told somebody that the other day I actually got in the mail. I bought it on Amazon because it never came my way. Is I bought the 3-hour TV version. Basically it's the film, but they added TV edit footage to the original, what I call the original, Christopher Reeve Superman. The original Superman, I don't think was 3 hours long, but they had to make one for 2 nights that was broadcasted on TV. So they added a lot of extra footage. They actually added almost a half an hour, probably closer to almost an hour worth of footage just for TV use. So they incorporated this into a 3-hour film you can buy on Blu-ray. It's like $20, I think, or $10. I forget. I watched it. The whole 3 hours, it was like, yeah, this is really cool. But I noticed with that extra footage and stuff put back in the film that was probably originally edited out of Donner's cut of, I think that was his name, of Christopher Reeves, the look on Jor-El's face, or not Jor-El, son of Jor-El, so you know what I mean, Clark's face, because he is an alien. Even with Christopher Reeve, there was a lot that was edited out to make it a lot more softer that was put back in this 3-hour version that I was watching the other night. And he definitely had a dark side to him. The character of Clark always had this dark side that they kind of cut out of the film work. But then they put it back in Christopher Reeve's, and it's definitely the same look that you will see in Justice League with the new Clark Kent. And I kind of don't like it because it's very scary looking, because I grew up with, the subtle version of Christopher Reeve. And I really got turned off. I remember when Christopher Reeve did the Superman 3, where he turns into almost like Bizarro, the dark side. Well, Bizarro is just weird, but like the dark version of Superman, like if Superman was evil, and it was in Superman 3, I think it was, that one actually scared me so badly. Like, I won't watch that. I refuse to watch it because it just really, it makes me feel sick. Because it's so scary that this is part of really what Clark is really like, because he's an alien. He's not human at all. So, and he is a god, so to speak. In that 3-hour version, and again in Justice League, you see the true Clark Kent He's still got a lot of good in him, but he is a god again, so you got to be careful. You got to tread lightly with Clark, I guess. So in the film, it was just, to me, it was just like too much almost. I don't like that dark side. A lot of people do who grew up with the comic books. I, for say, don't, because I grew up with George Reeve and Christopher Reeve. All right, I've taken this entirely too far already, so I apologize. Now, that's kind of surprising because I'm looking at one film I really did like. I'm not a big Thor fan. I don't really like Thor that much at all. I'm looking at it's not that far behind. Justice League is not that far behind the Thor movie that just came out. I can't pronounce the last name of the film. They did say they added a lot of comedy to it, which I'm kind of could say it was not that bad. It was a little bit stupid sometimes, but I'm not a big Thor fan. I don't understand why people like the comic book of Thor, but that movie just really changed my view on that character, and I loved it. I thought that movie was incredible. I would have to say, and I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I actually think I like Thor probably more so than I liked Justice League, which is saying a lot. Now, again, my favorite characters were Batman and Wonder Woman. I thought Cyborg was really cool, but what do you call it? The Lantean. Aquaman was done so poorly because most of his stuff was obviously, from what I read, has been cut out, so that did not help. They were still going to make an Aquaman movie. And I was really, really disappointed in Barry Allen. I thought it was horrible. So that's just me. So, but again, if you're a comic book fan, you understand where these characters are coming from. And Josh Whedon incorporated it back into the storyline, what was taken out originally from Zack Snyder's versions of Batman. So there you go. There's my niche on that. And I probably already said too much. Anyway, hopefully I sound okay. I hope my voice doesn't sound like I'm a mile away. I can hear myself through my mic, but I can't tell how it's recording because, again, I'm using a different headset. And by the way, since I was sick, one thing I'm a little bit worried about now, I actually did want to take off, that week between Christmas and New Year's, because this year Christmas and New Year's were all in the same week. So that kind of like really blows. And being so, I really wanted to see in the movie theaters, even though I could watch it on TV, I wanted to see the new Doctor Who, because it's going to introduce the new Doctor Who. It's going to be a woman, Jodie Whittaker or something like that. I can't pronounce her name correctly, and I've been bad with other Doctor Who actors who played Doctor Who. I could not get their names. So I really wanted to see her on the big screen. I wanted to wait and watch in the movie theater, but now, I'll get off for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I'll get off for New Year's Eve. I'll get off for New Year's Day. But I was going to take off that entire week, but I had to use those days now for sick time, so I may not get my wish. So that actually kind of disappoints me because I really wanted to see her, because this is like a big thing. I've been watching Doctor Who for almost 40 years. And, I know it's just a show, but it's something I grew up with. It's kind of like a cult thing for me. Not in a bad way, because I said cult, but it is really cool. And now I'm going to have to just watch it like everybody else does at home, I guess. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be people watching it, in the home. And a lot of people are going to go to the movie theater to go see it, too. And it is kind of a waste of money, but hey, it's my money, so I would like to waste it that way. So there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, I'm actually at a half an hour, so I hope this sounds okay. I hope I can get this up tonight. This podcast, because I haven't done one in ages. So anyway, one thing that I was like wondering, I was pondering, because I hate to say this, I shouldn't mention this on anything that even nobody listens to, but I worked so much overtime. My overtime money alone, my gross, has been like added an extra $40,000 to my overall income. So that's a lot of money. But what I paid in taxes this year was $30,000 in taxes. Now, you're probably saying, well, you probably made like $150,000. Yeah, try that. I haven't even broke the ceiling, the glass ceiling for me at 100. I'm not even there yet, and I paid 80% of my money that I made on overtime was paid in taxes, and definitely over 33% of my overall income for the year has been paid in taxes. So that's crazy. And then it was like, you know what? I mentioned this before out of sarcasm to my friends and don't hear back. But I said, we live in a sanctuary state. So I had to look at it, and then this brought it to mind too. So I did something, and there were some statistics, a .gov website, or .org, I apologize, on sanctuary counties and states, and Pennsylvania and Montgomery County, because I live in Montgomery County, is a sanctuary state. So somebody told me, well, it doesn't really specify. Montgomery County is really big. And I told him, I said, it's like there is what's called Norristown where I live. I actually live in Trooper. But Norristown is made up of Norristown, Eagleville, what is it? It's something lower East Norton is part of Norristown. So I can say, oh, I live in you live in Norristown, but yeah, well, that's not really being specific. I actually live in East Norton. Well, you know what? It's all the same. It's all the same. You're talking like a block. So Montgomery County is big, but it's not that big. And I'm looking at it right now. It says Montgomery County. So yeah, I hate to tell you, Montgomery County is not to be an asshole, but yeah, that's pretty bad, because that is exactly where I live in. I live in Montgomery County. I pay taxes. My taxes that I pay are for Montgomery County. So how am I not supposed to see, oh, well, it's so big, you're kind of making mountains out of molehills. It's like, well, I hate to tell you, no, I'm not. So that really got to me. Yeah, it says Bradford County, Bucks County. Now, Bucks County is very far, but it's in an arm's length. Montgomery County, Philadelphia, obviously. So, yeah, why we're paying all these high taxes and we have all these high crime rates, because I don't know how many times I've read stories about of shootings and people getting killed and all this other nonsense. And it's within Montgomery County, Norristown, Trooper, Eagleville, which is all the same area, basically, if you want to look at it. And this is why everything is so outrageously expensive, why I'm paying so much in taxes. So, yeah, that actually bothers me. So I had to get that out in the open. Another thing was, I saw this the other day in the New York Post, but you know what? I think they were talking about Pennsylvania. So it was in the New York Post, but I guess they have different editions of the paper. So this article was actually geared towards, it looked like I just saw Harrisburg in this article, but it's for Pennsylvania. And it's like, it's a very recent article. It says dozens of teachers terrorized by out-of-control students flee school district. And these are like little kids terrorizing grown adults. Yeah, it says Amanda Schaefer told Harrisburg School Board at a meeting on Monday. So this article is only like a week old. And Barksdale, I mean, there's different places in Pennsylvania where the children, I mean, you're talking like little kids, thanks to this liberal belief of not, sorry, I saw some other article, that, we can't hit a kid, we can't spank a child. That's you can't do that. That's not good for the child's ego. Well, look what you made. You made them into monsters now. And these kids are just acting out. I saw the one friend I have. his kids seem a little bit out of control. I don't want to say anything. Hey, it's none of my business what he does to his kids or how he disciplines them, because I think he kind of does. But yeah, they're a little bit mouth offish, standoffish, mouth off to both mom and dad. Well, a friend of mine, not him, but his kids. So sometimes I tell you, I learned when I was a kid. If I mouthed off or acted smart ass to my dad when I was younger, he pulled out the belt, and you knew right then and there that's going to stop. Nowadays, you can't do that shit, but you have to. You really should. So anyway, I saw something else I wanted to mention because I think it's kind of interesting. I want to bring it up now. Besides these nutcases over the malls, I literally stayed clear of the malls this past weekend if I could. I did try to sell off some stuff. I gave some things away again because I've been buying too much of stupid shit. So, where I went for because it was nice, it was relaxing. I have to recommend if you just want to just relax, look around at simple stores, nothing that spectacular. And you live in Norristown, go to Pottstown to that Coventry Mall. That's beautiful there. The people are very friendly, very pleasant. And you don't get all that garbage that you do in the King of Prussia Mall and stuff. That's just out of control. So I avoided, there, and I ate at this Cheese Fridays over there. I traded some movies in I was not watching anymore at FYE, and then I went over to Plymouth Media Mall. I did head over to King of Prussia, and there was nowhere to park. I was like, forget it, I'm leaving. I didn't even park. I didn't even try to park. But anyway, there was an article from Newtown, PA Patch, which actually applies to Norristown as well. In Pennsylvania, they're saying that it's mating season for these deer. And I had this experience on the way home. That's why I mentioned it, by the way. Where I had the same deer, because I was going up and down in Lansdale to go to the bank. I ran up to the bank when I got out of work tonight. And the way back, one deer, the same one, I almost ran into my car twice. It was a fawn, I think. It wasn't a deer with the antlers. It was a fawn, I think. She was so freaking horny that she ran into my car almost twice. And both times I missed her, thank God. I even checked my car to make sure. Then on the way home, I had 3 other deer that ran into me. But then I had to worry about, as my dad puts it, the 2-legged deer. Some jackass at the top of my hill decides to floor it and race right up on my bumper. So I just pulled aside, let him go. I was like, you know what, dude, you can continue, he or she, whoever it was, to drive like a moron, but I'll guarantee you're not going to make it much further because these deer are literally in such heat right now that they're just running ragged at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was coming home. They're running right in front of my car, right towards it. They can't think with anything else except, like most humans around here, with their private parts. So, but they're deer, so you kind of expect that out of them. So I had to mention that. There were some weird stories. I think, on Thanksgiving, that's the new Black Friday, by the way. It's Thanksgiving Day at 5 o'clock. So me and my parents and I drove them this time because it was I just had an upset stomach from this crap going on, no puns intended. And I decided, don't worry, I'm going to drive. Went down to down in Plymouth Meeting. I went down to Cracker Barrel. And then afterwards I said, well, you know what? I don't want to inconvenience you, but I'll drop you off. I'll come back, and I want to go to Best Buy. My mom said, don't worry about it. You're doing the driving. Go right now. And I said, you sure? Because it's going to be really bad. So I go in there, and it's like nuts in there. People are grabbing out of each other's hands these TV sets. That's the big thing this year, were television sets. I remember Ken Matthews said how many TV sets sold per minute. It's some ridiculous amount. These big 50, 70-inch TVs. They were cheap, but it's just oh, my God. I hate to say, but they look like most of them are on food stamps and welfare, but that's just my opinion, so, I don't know. This is me being me. Some interesting stories. I'm just looking at them right now. And, I got 2 months of stories, but I'm just doing the recent ones because why go back any further? There was a burned body found on top of a SEPTA train, I think on Thanksgiving Day. I read some article. I don't have it in front of me, but something about state trooper actually got shot and killed, so they're looking for the person who did that on Thanksgiving Day. Now, I'm always accused of being wrong, but here's one that's like classic. Homicide by, by car, by vehicle, charges filed in Monco worker's death. You know, there's people that work at nighttime, they're forced to work nighttime on road construction. Well, it was a young girl, like 20 years old, faces homicide by vehicle charges after striking two men and killing. Well, she kills two of them, and the other one's in it's down in Philadelphia, and that happened. One guy was 53, the other guy was 46. They're both dead, and there was another guy that got rushed to a Philadelphia hospital, and that happened on the 24th. So that was like the day after Thanksgiving. So, I'm tired of the whole victimization thing. I'm tired of all these people, these millennials who are just very immature. So, I don't know what else to say. And I don't have much time to say much more, so because I'm almost actually getting up towards an hour. So really quickly, a couple things I thought was really cool. I didn't know about this, but Josh Whedon, going back to him real quick, he's supposed to be making a Batgirl movie. That's going to definitely happen. It's no ifs, ands, and buts. My man from back in the day who played the Doctor Who, Tom Baker, is going to be back again in a release of a DVD, possibly Blu-ray, but I think it's DVD, where they're redoing that episode that was never shot of Shada. And they're going to add like the cartoon type thing for the parts that were never filmed. So that's really, really cool. So, there's some cool stuff, not so morbid or depressing or just gets me plain mad. So there's stuff like that. It was funny. Oh, I spent so much money, folks, over the holiday weekend, and a lot of it was on Microsoft. I hate Microsoft, but yet I got this Xbox One X, or I just call it the Xbox 10, folks. The new one, the grandiose, super powerful console. And I normally don't play games, but I end up buying all these games. I have a ton of games in shrink wrap that I haven't played, but you know which ones I like the best from Microsoft? Because they look really sweet on that new console, because it really upscales everything, like to 4K, or as close to 4K as you can get. Because I don't have a 4K set. I have a 4K for TV set. It's Samsung, but it's not real 4K. It's like UMD or something like that. So it's not true 4K. But I don't care, but it looks fantastic, because I was like playing some of these older games that I had laying around, or I just rebought them again because I cannot find a disc. And it was like, oh my God, these games look incredible. My jaw dropped. So, I can't say enough about that. So I did have some fun, but one of the things, I bought all these movies on Microsoft. I'm never going to watch probably any of them. But I bought all these movies because I had like $50 to burn in my pocket that I got from a pre-order for Microsoft. It's like Microsoft Cash, $50. Spend it as you like. So I did. I bought all these movies. And I'm never going to watch any of them. That's a weird thing. And by the way, I'm getting close to almost an hour. Close enough. But so that's like really cool. And I end up spending that. So I spend like $150 on stuff. And that's, I think, not including, or is it including the $50 I got from Microsoft? So, but I bought all these games, and I'm like looking at them, it's like ooh and ah, and it's like I'm never gonna have time to play any of this freaking stuff, but it looks really fucking awesome. So it's kind of stupid buying these games. I'm never really gonna play them. I like the kind of games though, like the fighting games. You go in there for like 5 minutes, you can put it down, come back a couple of months later, who gives a fuck? That's the kind of games I love to play. And I got a couple of those, but I got a couple other games too. So that's really like super awesome. But then because I don't know what it is, she's built like a 2x4, but there's something about her that just really turns me on. And Mila, the woman who played in Resident Evil, and she also played, she plays in a lot of science fiction films. I love her. I don't like her politics. Apparently, her next film is gonna be something that's like anti-Bush. Because I looked at what her upcoming films are, and it's like, okay, that's gonna kind of ruin it for me. But for the most part, I like her in her films. I'm trying to think. Oh, The Fifth Element. She played in The Fifth Element. She had no speaking words that made any sense, at least, when she did that. But that was her like stardom for movie going. And ever since that, I really like her. A lot of the women I liked that, like, it was funny. I made this joke to a friend that I love and I respect as women that are actors that are superhero actors, so to speak, or action heroes. All are built like 2x4s. Like they're flat as a board, both front and back. But I love them. So because I'm also referring to Gail Gadot and Gadot. She's built like a 2x4, but I love her to death. What do you call it? Played in Resident Evil. I love her to death. And there's this Amy Ackard. I love her to death. And I met her in person, though, Amy Ackard. She's so adorable. But she's built like a board. She's like flat, front and back. I mean, I think there's more knots on a piece of wood than in her body. But, hey, I don't care. She's just like an incredible actress. I love her. And then a friend told me that she's got a flat butt is the new Doctor Who. And it's like, yeah, that kind of does ruin it for me because I got that stuck in the back of my head that you said, oh, yeah, I saw so-and-so because I can't remember her name, Doctor Who number 13. He said, oh, I saw her totally nude in something, and she's like flat in the back. She got no booster. She's got no butt. Baby got no butt. And she got no breast or flat. And it's like, she's got a cute face now. So... And I'm really looking forward to the new Doctor Who. That's going too far from what I really wanted to talk about. So what was I going to say? Because I'm looking at some stories real quick to wrap this up. I heard something in the background. I hope it's not my parents. Wow. Yeah, there was some weird stories I have. Anyway, I'm trying to look through these again. Oh, I read something tonight, before I even came on air, by the way. They are actually making, it said a Venom, the next thing Sony's going to do is making a Venom movie. So, a spinoff from the Spider-Man franchise. So they've been talking about that for years, but they're finally going to do it. And they mentioned something about Carnage, because Carnage and Venom are kind of almost the same thing, if I remember correctly. I don't have enough... know how to say, yeah, I know this is a fact, because I don't. So, one of the articles I keep on seeing over and over again, I'm just going to mention it. It was like, it's another one that really pisses me off, by the way. It says, national massage chain accused of sexual assault by more than 180 women. So, just the touch on that again, I'm just so sick of this. I know Gal Gadot did this. Or Gadot, she made sure somebody who worked on the next Wonder Woman film would not be on there because apparently he was accused, this male was accused of sexual assault. I'd like to believe it, but now anything of just, and I heard this on listening to Ken Matthews on covering for Rush on the way home, and this is so true. Some caller called in, and it's like, ladies, you're making it worse on yourself because, no man is going to even want to go in the same elevator with you because and this is true for me, I'm just too freaking afraid to even acknowledge a woman anymore. I've had a problem for years, but I really do now because I'm afraid you're going to make a big deal out of it and accuse me of sexually assaulting you, which is not the case, but you're going to make it out that way. And who's going to believe me? Nobody, but they're going to believe you. So, yeah, that kind of is really depressing. So, anyway, I don't want to leave it off of that sour note. But, hey, on a lighter note, it's funny. I was curious about this because I know it's coming out eventually. I think next year. Atari's going to put out a new console. But it's going to be like one of these, like that one from NVIDIA, where you basically stream all your games, you download your games. You don't physically own any cartridges or anything like that. So they're making a retro Atari box that's coming out next year. And they actually showed a peek now of what the joysticks are going to look like. So they're modern joysticks that look like the old school ones you used to use when I was a kid, like 40 years ago, playing these freaking video games. But they're going to be all up-to-date games. It's not going to be like a super powerful machine, but it's going to be like lukewarm, and it looks pretty kind of cool. And it is going to be a couple $100, unfortunately. I probably stick with my Xbox One because I really do kind of like it. I actually put in, because my thing right now is watching Three's Company, which I did not do tonight or the night before because I was watching those. I lost track of that, actually. I was watching those Resident Evil movies. They got really bad really quickly. Like, the first one was excellent. The second one was pretty bad. And the third one I watched last night, because there's like 6 Resident Evil movies. Like, they have to be good because they made 6 of them. And all of them got released in the movie theaters. So I figured they have to be good, but they're not. They all of them actually really suck. Minus the first one was really cool. So, Resident Evil, I mean. So, yeah, I was kind of shocked by that. Yeah, I want to wrap this up in the next few seconds, few minutes, whatever. Seconds to me are minutes, so. Yeah, so that's pretty much, I guess. I hope, again, I don't have any problems putting this finishing touch on this episode tonight. And I don't know when I'll be back, honestly. I'm not even sure if I am going to do what do you call it? A New Year's Eve one, because usually, like last year, I went up to Blairstown. I went up to what do you call it? Wilkes-Barre, or whatever. And I did one with this guy Ryan, who is really awesome. I did it like twice, 2 years, I think, not in a row, or did I do it 2 years in a row? And it was really cool. I loved. The first time I did it with him was like 2 hours. The second time, I think it was 3. And we were making a joke and Todd got involved too, which was even better. But I was like making a joke, yeah, and then the next one's going to probably be 4 hours long. But really what I wanted to do, honestly, was to eventually do a trip up to New York again. Just like a day trip or something. And it's funny because I avoided it purposely. I was going to go see 1984, the play. But then I found out that the main woman who I played in Tron 2 Legacy, I forget her name, but she is like a total leftist, liberal wacko. And it was like, you know what? I don't think I want to see this film anymore. I'm not going to waste my money on somebody who just despises Trump and is, doing this venomous hate thing in a book that I kind of really like, 1984. It's like, I really want to go see this. But after that, you just kind of ruined it for me. So I never went and seen that, and it's over with now anyway. I can't see it if I even wanted to. Because, like, sometimes I do backpedal, I'll admit to that, and I'll say, yeah, I won't give money to this, and then I end up giving, like, hundreds or thousands of dollars towards stuff that is totally against what my beliefs are. And you can't do that. So, yeah, so this time I actually stuck to my guns, and I did not, There's a couple things, actually, I was pretty good with this year. I didn't, spend money on... I mean, I spend enough money on stupid shit, but honestly, not as much as I probably could have, especially this year. It's the amount of money I made. So instead, I basically, gave it to my parents, which I think it's, rightfully so. They should get more money. So anyway, folks, it is almost, it's getting late for me, and we're only a few weeks away till Christmas. We have another week left, a good full week in November, and it's over. So it's part of history, because 2017 is no longer going to come back November 2017. So, or the 27th, 2017 is it's over with. And in the next few days, because December 1st is on the Friday. Oh, it's just kind of weird. Time does fly way too fast. I'm kind of running out of things to say. I feel a little bit better, so thank you for folks if you listen in. And I apologize, I can't give you a definite time when I'll be back, because I'm going to have a difficult time just trying to get this put together, this show, and try to fix my other laptop at some point in time. Probably over the weekend, I'll just drop it off, like I said, at the Apple Store. Anyway, thanks again for listening to me. You know, a good hour of nonsense, which you expect people who haven't heard me well would expect from me. I had many ideas. I was actually, when I was off for this 5-day period, that maybe I'll do a Black Friday show or a Thanksgiving show or whatever, but I didn't do any of them. So I'm doing I don't know, I guess Cyber Monday show. I don't know. I don't even want to call it anything. So everyone, thanks again, and I'll be back whenever. This is Walter from iWalter. As I would say, signing off for now. So thanks.